Is there now any discussion on this matter? 3, up there.
Mr. Chairman, Ray Rogers.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, I applaud Coca-Cola for any charitable work it does. Before casting votes for directors, I must ask, will the board, and you, Mr. Kent, continue the irresponsible policies of the Daft and Isdell administrations by flagrantly violating the company's stated codes of conduct relating to human rights and environmental justice? The Coca-Cola system, including the Coca-Cola Company, many of its bottlers, and subsidiaries like the Coca-Cola Export Corporation, shamelessly operate like a criminal syndicate with impunity. Human rights abuses uncovered in China, Colombia, El Salvador, Guatemala, India, Mexico, and elsewhere cannot be dealt with simply as public relations problems. They are real and must be addressed adequately. Coke's sinful world is being exposed like never before. Recently published books and a new blockbuster by Michael Blanding, due out later this year, highlight the seemingly out-of-control, immoral, and corrupt practices running rampant in the Coca-Cola system. Documentaries, including the Coca-Cola case, produced by the National Film Board of Canada and Argus Films, is making its way into theaters, homes, classrooms, conferences, and conventions worldwide, despite the veiled threats, bullying, and intimidation tactics by Coke's lawyers and unsuccessful efforts to censor the film. In Mexico, there is another real-life drama stirring, also called the Coca-Cola case. It involves a former 16-year Coca-Cola employee and marketing executive turned whistleblower whom the company apparently pressured to act illegally to destroy all competition at the 700,000 mom-and-pop stores in Mexico. But even worse, this case highlights how Coca-Cola and the Coca-Cola Export Corporation conspired to illegally cheat Mexican workers out of hundreds of millions of dollars in pay and profit sharing and the Mexican government out of millions in tax revenues. Institutional investors had better wake up, otherwise their investments could be jeopardized when Coke faces potential judgments costing billions because of poor oversight and malfeasance by the board. So I ask, will the board work to make sure the Coca-Cola system reins in its greed, cleans up its act, compensates its victims of the past, and makes sure other workers and communities are not victimized in the future? Otherwise, Coca-Cola, American icon, will increasingly be branded Killer Coke, American convict. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Look, firstly, I'd like to say that we thank you for your interest, continued interest in our company. I'm going to address your unfounded accusations, but before I do so, let me just say to you that how proud I am, all of us in the Coca-Cola Company are, to work for a company that actually is the world's 5th largest private employer as a system, 700,000 employees. How we are engaged with communities, because that engagement with communities comes from a simple belief that in every single community that we operate, we can't create a sustainable business if we cannot actually create sustainable communities. We generate hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurial projects across all nations around the world, in addition to the employment we create. Just in the case of Africa, manual distribution centers have created 21,000 additional jobs, in addition to what Coca-Cola has created directly. We work with foundations like the Gates Foundation on generating incomes for 54,000 farmers across nations in Africa, like Kenya and Uganda. You heard about Haiti. What we do to educate the youth around the world. Just in the United States alone, since mid-80s, we have created education support for 4,200 students in scholarship awards. All of these engagements in the community actually make us very proud to be associated with the Coca-Cola company, all of us around the world, as well as our bottlers. But let me come back to your accusations, which have no merit. The majority are older allegations that have been addressed numerous times. We actually are committed, and everyone in this room knows that we're committed to open and inclusive workplaces, where all employees are valued and all employees are inspired. Workers are free to exercise their rights to union membership, to collective bargaining. We are one of the most highly unionized multinational business systems around the world. Our supplier guiding principles ensure, in addition to what we do, that our suppliers recognize everything that we buy from our suppliers. Those suppliers also recognize our same workplace standards. As regards other specifics, whether it be China, Guatemala, Colombia, Mexico, they have all been addressed in previous cases. I'll take a few. We reiterate again, in Latin America, none of those allegations are true, whether it's Colombia or Guatemala. Also, there have been judicial inquiries. There have been no evidence found. Court cases have been dismissed. Appeal courts have thrown the case out again, as recent as 2009 in the case of Colombia. And so we don't see any merit in any of those accusations, and we remain resolutely committed to human rights and also to leading the way in sustainability around the world, so that we can be the leading company in the world and the leading international company in the world that everyone takes leadership from.